This podcast is a member of the Voices of Wrestling Podcasting Network. Visit voicesofwrestling.com to hear the rest of our great podcasts, as well as show reviews, columns, opinions, and updates across the world of wrestling.
Shake them ropes. Jeff Hawkins, Chris Novembrino back for another week of fun and hilarity and snark. Lots of snark. This week's show brought to you again by Manscaped and MyBookie.ag. More on them later. Chris, I spent the last 15 minutes of SmackDown in the Thunderdome.
What was it like? Yeah.
Well, you know, Tina Turner was singing We Don't Need Another Hero. And all we want is to be beyond Thunderdome. No, a little annoying. I'm going to be honest with you. It's nice to be able to watch the match, and I like the feed of the commentary in my ears as opposed to like on my speakers on my TV. It was very nice. But there's an obvious producer in there who's just giving way too many stage directions. All right, keep the energy up. Let's see your booing. Okay, we got the yes chants right now. Everybody do yes chants. You know, that kind of stuff. And it's really, it's a little bit of a detriment, but overall, you know, it's a cool way to watch. It's just one of those things where it's like, all right, dude, I'm sitting alone in my house and you want me to cheer. It's just, you know, maybe it's an age thing. Like, you know, this is made for 13-year-olds when their demo is 49 and over. But, you know, it was one of those things where it's like, it's kind of a cool experience, but at the same time, it's like being in a TV show and having somebody in your ear, you know, giving cues and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm surprised that there's still, when you told me you were going into the Thunderdome, I was surprised that they're still actually doing real humans in the Thunderdome. I just assumed that like they had gotten all the various panels they needed and had those stage directed in at this point. You
know, you really don't need to have people in the Thunderdome.
No,
because they already have the canned response in there, and you can hear it because you can hear the, you know, okay, there's a "This is awesome" chant going. Everybody do your "This is awesome" stuff on TV. You know, there's a yes chant that you know, button number 2, yes.wave is going on in the Thunderdome, and they want you to do it along with it, which is weird because they also want to have access to your microphone. And I'm like, they're not piping us in, I don't think. They're just using the canned noise and stuff. But, you know, it's an interesting way to watch wrestling. I'll give it that much.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's certainly interesting to have some firsthand reporting on it because, this process strikes me as strange this far into the game. It just seems like why not have the audio cues? Because they're piping in the audio. Why not just have video that corresponds with the audio so that you're getting the response you want at the time you want it, at the intensity you want it? Like, this show is so heavily produced at this point and not really allowing for organic, meaningful audience feedback. Just program in the response you want then.
We're on video and giving you all the responses you want as well over at the Voices of Wrestling YouTube channel. I upload this every week. It's the easiest upload I do every week compared to the
I find
audio.
The video upload for Don't Worry About the Government to be the easy part, and like the hard part's the audio.
Yeah, and I am now a year older. Thank you for those of you who sent birthday wishes. Chris did not, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. So we're bringing that up on air. I actually had like a heartfelt moment with you prior to the show, but like, okay, no, that's cool. That's cool.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's your birthday. So it's okay. I'm fine with it because it's you're 1 year older. Happy birthday, Jeff. You're a valued friend. I appreciate our time together every week.
I'm too damn old. I'm too damn old to be doing wrestling podcasts, I think.
Apparently not. You're still here.
I'm still here. Well, find another. You and Cody could do this podcast. And I'll just leave.
Cody big leagues me all the time. Cody,
as well.
Cody's like, I have a very busy schedule. Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
sure.
he has a life.
Probably, doing dungeons and whatever.
Oh no! If you want to complain about Chris's hatred of Dungeons and Dragons, you can tweet him at DWATG. Roll a 20-sided dice before tweeting.
Yeah. Roll for what do they call it? Priority initiative or some shit.
Initiative. Roll for initiative.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes. Whatever it is. Roll for. All right. Now, Hawkins, I need you to be very quiet right now for a change because you're always talking. I just need you to bring. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Bring it down. Listen. Can you hear it?
No.
Okay. Well, all right. So, this is the Gibson Les Paul. It is known for its sustain. They say you can play a note and you can just hold it, and the sustain just lasts forever.
Okay.
Yeah, you just hold it. Can you hear it?
No.
But you could. But that's from Spinal Tap. You said you only saw that movie once.
I saw it like about 10 years ago. Yeah, for the first time. I
finally get this Les Paul. I get this Les Paul, and I finally get to do the sustain joke, and like you take all the joy of living from me. Look at this Les Paul.
I told you this week that Spinal Tap is kind of a blind spot in my comedy knowledge because I just never was that interested in watching it, to be honest with you. Because I'm not a big Rob Reiner guy, to be honest. But it's a
movie about politics, or no, it's a movie about music. It's not about about Reiner's politics.
No, I don't like Rob Reiner as a filmmaker. But it's also. It was just one of those things where I never got around to it. Somebody actually bought it for me, and I never got around to it, and I don't know why. It's a movie everybody has a movie that everybody else has seen, but it's a blind spot to you. What's yours, so I can do references to it?
No, I've seen every movie.
Okay, fine. I'll figure out something.
I had a lot of free time in my 20s.
You have a lot of free time now.
That's how I keep up with all the new movies.
Yeah, I haven't seen new movies along the way. But anyways, getting to our news. Turner Broadcasting in the NHL announced a deal on April 27th, which had been rumored. 7-year contract that includes games on TBS, TNT, Bleacher Report, and HBO Max. Now, this is going to be interesting because hockey on ESPN is ratings death, and on talk radio is ratings death. And I think AEW has better ratings than anything the NHL would get for the playoffs or for a regular season game. We will see if they have to move things around, but it's also interesting because it was assumed that NBC Universal was going to get this deal. And that's one of the reasons why NXT was moving to Tuesdays to give the usual Wednesday night on the former NBC Sports hockey game of the week to USA. Anything?
Well, it's going to be an interesting decision time then for people in WWE land, because you've had just an interesting sample of ratings from AEW over the last 2 weeks. Is the real AEW the one above what we've referred to as the Mendoza line of like 1 million? Or is the real AEW something closer to the numbers that we saw AEW bring in this week, which was under 1 million?
835,000.
Yeah,
but
right.
that was also against Biden. Ratings juggernaut Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still sufficient enough. I mean, even though it wasn't, it wasn't the usual, because first-year presidents don't do State of the Unions; they do an address to Congress.
Yeah,
it
right.
wasn't. It wasn't. But it wasn't. 2 million more people watched Biden than watched the Academy Awards, which had its worst year ever as well. But it was sufficient enough, the civic-minded audience of AEW Dynamite.
How
I
do you
guess
do in numbers? I actually don't know.
11 million.
Okay. I mean, it might have nibbled on the margins of the AEW fan, but you still would hope for them to be, I don't know, closer to like just shy of 1 million rather than back down into the 800s.
Right.
Especially because they were like at like what 1 point, almost like 1.1.
Well, NXT didn't set the world on fire either because
No, I'm not defending. And no, what I'm bringing up AEW's ratings not as a like dunk on AEW. What I'm bringing up is if NXT goes back against AEW again,
they won't.
In their heat
I
sink
think they're
position.
done. I think they're done doing that because they'd get killed at this point. I think. I do. I
think so. I mean, the only reason you do that is because NXT stinks right now, and so it's maybe best function for WWE as a broader ecosystem is as a heat sink to AEW.
NXT was down about 100,000 as well, 744,000 viewers. AEW is going to have another problem in the next month and a half because of the NBA playoffs, and they're going to be moving all over the place to accommodate those.
Oh man, yeah. So they had this great show not that long ago, and they had like Shaq, and they had this big ratings pop, but now they're in a schedule that basically makes it impossible to gain momentum. So AEW's best hope right now, if you're getting moved around constantly for the NBA playoffs,
yeah.
How are you going to pick up ratings from week to week? People need to have ritual. People need to know to tune in on Wednesday nights at a set time. If you've got a really hot product, then people need to come back week to week. You don't want to be searching. I remember that used to happen a little bit with WCW and like a little bit ever so slightly with like Monday Night Raw when the Westminster Dog Show and like other stuff used to preempt Monday Night Raw back in the day. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, I think the Westminster Dog Show was the only thing that would definitely preempt it. I think there was one time when the U.S. Open may have done it.
Yeah, definitely. I remember U.S. Open as well.
It would be like, you'd see the ratings for Raw, and then they'd put the dog show on, and the dog show would like triple the number, and you'd be like, damn, USA, just put a dog show on every week.
People like dog shows.
People do.
But I think when you're trying to build like a ratings momentum, what they need is like 8 to 12 weeks where they are on at the same time, same channel every week. And it seems like this current schedule coming up here with the NBA playoffs is going to make that a little tricky.
NXT UK has canceled the takeover that was scheduled for Sunday, June 20th, 2021. NXT UK Dublin. I think that's a pretty wise move.
Yeah, sure. The global numbers for the pandemic are, at current all-time highs. It's just like less in the United States, but it's certainly affecting a number of different countries, overseas and that sort of thing. So, running a show in the United Kingdom right now is just not tenable.
A little bit about last week's news. This from the Wrestling Observer. The day after John Cone was relieved of his duties in talent relations, decision was rescinded and he was put back in his same position and is actually higher up on the totem pole because of those in the department who were let go. He was never let go as he was going to stay with the company and remain a referee either way. Also, kind of newsworthy, Jason Jordan has been promoted to lead producer, the role formerly held by John Laurinaitis before he was moved back to talent relations. Adam Pearce is now director of live events, which means he'll be overseeing house shows, which means house shows are coming back, I guess. Michael Hayes used to be in that position.
Interesting. This is not the big news of the week in personnel that I was thinking of. The Drake Wirtz situation.
Has anything official been done on that?
I don't know anything official has been done on that, but I mean, I think something's probably going to come down at some point here.
I think they're keeping Drake because he's too good of a ref. They've suspended him before.
Well, he's been. Here's what I think is happening. He has been sort of quietly demoted. I think that his political activism is spilling into the workplace, and I think that is and I think what we saw this week in the city council. For those of you who are not familiar with this, there was an incident this week where Drake Wirtz called into the Jacksonville City Council. Am I correct? Jacksonville?
Yes, I believe
yeah,
so.
It's like the Jacksonville County Commission against a mask mandate, saying that masks are bad for children and help enable sex traffickers to smuggle children using masks. And he was basically some stuff that people
he had a bit of a breakdown during that, as I recall, too.
That also happened. And see what I think is happening. And this is why I bring it up and why I do think something is going to occur. Is that I think that this has been spilling. Also, he was wearing an NXT t-shirt while doing this, which I think is another part where this becomes very hard for the employer to ignore. I think that this has been spilling into his professional life. I think that's why he got demoted. I think you can kind of see like a trend line here of Drake's political activism on this stuff. He's not able to separate from his professional life anymore. And that happens sometimes, but then companies, usually part ways with those people.
Andrade El Idolo, which is going to be his new name until signed by another company, versus Alberto El Patron has been announced for a July 31st show in McAllen, Texas, where my parents used to live. That also includes the former Primo, Epico, and Kalisto. Most people's 90 days is up over after July 14th, I believe it is. El Idolo can work now, and I believe he's working a Mexican promotion, but don't quote me on that. But really, your first big match back, I have no love for Alberto El Patron. That's a guy who has got every chance in the book and has now shown himself to be kind of a scumbag.
Just like slightly.
I'm trying to temper it because
the dude was born on third base, thought he hit a triple.
Yes.
Totally underperformed in his WWE career. Yes, like some of it was not great, but like he didn't do himself any favors in a number of different situations during the negotiations. He got brought into Lucha Underground, was hard to work with for the Lucha Underground producers. He then, decided he wanted to do the AAA thing. He was a pain in the ass in AAA. Like everywhere this guy has gone, he's acted like he's just like some great world champion. And I've seen this guy have 3.5 to 4-star matches at peak. Like he never had like this razzle dazzler for me where I was like, oh man, this guy Alberto Del Rio, he's really got it going. I thought he was probably the most compelling when he was sort of doing the babyface character thing. Yeah, that was probably the best iteration of him. The heel stuff was largely propped up by the other guy, the announcer dude, Rodriguez.
Roberto Rodriguez.
Roberto Rodriguez. I thought really was kind of like
or
propping
Albert.
up.
Is it? No, it's
Ricardo.
Yeah,
Was it Ricardo?
Ricardo. Thank you.
Yeah.
I should know that.
Del Rio exists, and he's always been like this real middling dude, and I just don't see. I see no urgent need to was he canceled? I don't know, but like let's use the word uncanceled. I see no reason to uncancel this dude.
Yeah, being difficult doesn't make you a scumbag. I was thinking more of the extracurricular stuff that he was known for, the page stuff, that kind of thing.
But that's on top of it, right? So like he's a hard guy to work with, and he's also like an extracurricular jerk. So
I will bet that show gets canceled because they're trying to hold him up for money. I will bet that. That's
okay. So like we can play the game of like, does he actually make the show? Because like in a fantasy world where every one of these people you named off actually showed up and turned in a good performance, this would be a jammer of a show. For like a low level indie lucha show, like Primo and Epico are still pretty decent. Like what's his name? The other one,
Kalisto.
Kalisto's good.
Samurai Del Sol. He'll probably go back to that. Samurai Del Sol is awesome.
Like this is actually a pretty good indie show. It's just like I don't know that I expect Del Rio to make it.
I Who knows if he wants to wrestle anymore? That's the other thing. Is like
I don't think he
was
wants
exactly
to
the
wrestle.
hardest.
I think he does it because that's the only way he knows how to make money. It's not like this guy's gonna get into insurance.
I want that State Farm representative, Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, he breaks your arm and goes, well, fortunately, it's insured.
He's bilingual. We could have him open up an office. The State Farm does the same thing WWE does. Look at him. He's tall. He's good looking. Let's give him a brokerage.
That's no, the tall, good-looking thing. When I worked in an insurance company, they definitely promoted one dude specifically because he was tall and good-looking.
It looks good in the pictures. He looks good in the promotional
he looks
photos.
like a manager.
Yeah, that's got management material written all over it right there. That's just a stand-up guy. And meanwhile, there's that dude who's just grinding, and it's like, I got my nose to the grindstone. I don't complain. I'll be seen. What? Nope. We don't want to lose that guy's productivity. Let's promote Alberto Del Rio to sell life insurance and flood insurance in the Rio Grande.
Every time he drives up, that catchy theme song of his plays in the background.
Oh no! What they do is they they rent the expensive cars just like WWE used to. And he comes driving along in his look, Alberto came to work today in a Lamborghini.
That was the best part about Del Rio's whole oeuvre in WWE. So he had like a great theme song. Like in an era where like most people didn't have a very good one, like Del Rio's theme song was actually pretty dope.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Oh, okay. Some good stuff this week. I don't want you to think that the entire
some good stuff this week.
There was some.
I
mean, the Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns.
Okay.
Eva Valkyrie versus Mako Satomura was quite good.
Okay, so the second half of the week made up for the atrocious first half of the week.
Raw was terrible.
It was bad. It was very bad in like a uniquely different way. Like I couldn't even arrive.
How is it uniquely terrible?
It's about my emotional state. It's not about what was because what was on the screen. Like as we'll go through it on the merits here. Like what was on the screen was not novel, but like the feeling that I had at the end of this show. Like and I watched it sans commercials. I felt like I had been robbed of an hour and 42 minutes, and like. I was actively waiting around the hour mark. Again, this is without commercials for this show to end. I'm like sitting here watching this and going like, how much more of this is left? And like actually like head in hand, like staring at the TV, just waiting for it to come to its like piddling conclusion. This was just like a very bad show. They've had a spate of those, and it's showing in the ratings too. I don't think like it is catching up to them. It has been catching up to them long term too. But I do think you're starting to see like a little bit tighter of a correlation too.
Before I get into that, let's do a read, and then I'll respond because you're right. Naturally, you're correct. But let's talk about our sponsors, MyBookie. Racehorse or workhorse between the NFL Draft and the Kentucky Derby, there is no shortage of odds, props, and horses to take advantage of and win cash at MyBookie.ag. Kentucky Derby Saturday. It's awesome. I've been to one. It's quite a lot of fun. Predict who will go first or last in the draft and everything in between. Tons of props, tons of value, and it's all available at your fingertips now. Will it be Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson to the Jags? Spoiler, it was Trevor Lawrence. If you got a feeling you can cash in on this and more at MyBookie, make sure you hit up the website on May 1st, that's tomorrow, for some freebies because they're celebrating the 2021 Kentucky Derby with a host of free games, spins, and chips available throughout the day in the MyBookie casino. Whether you're looking for a legit blackjack experience fit with live dealers or just looking to bet on the next big event, there's only one place to do it, and that's MyBookie. Sign up now with our promo code ROPES to get your first deposit and matched up to $1,000. Use our promo code ROPES to get a free deposit bonus and start your day off with a win. It's always good to start your day off with a win. It's rare that I get to start my day off with a win. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Once again, the code ROPES, ROPES. And now Raw talk. Yes, when it started off with the two big men bickering. And you just knew there was a can I coexist angle coming. Braun being kind of a jerk. Drew being a stupid babyface. It's all these, they only have 3 plays, really.
Yeah.
They have the 2-on-1 match. They have the tag team partners who can't get along. And what's the other one?
The 2 guys who can't get along go up against the tag team champions and maybe beat them.
Yeah, that too.
Outcome doesn't really matter. I think what angers me the most about WWE product and what leaves me with the low level of anger. I'm actually angry. It's not like I'm gonna punch you, buddy, sort of anger. It's like I feel cheated. But what it is that what that cheat feeling is WWE wrestling is supposed to be a place where anything can happen. And WWE television right now, especially Blue and Red brand, but also really NXT at this point, is a place where you know exactly what is going to happen next. And it's contra to the fundamental energy of what makes... It's kind of what makes AEW exciting. They sort of use certain tropes like the aftermath, aftermath, a little too often here. But at least AEW attempts to make wrestling sometimes feel like a place where anything can happen. And you never get that vibe on WWE television. And you even get that when they attempt to do a pull-apart once a year. They only do it once a year. And when they do it, everyone does it in this super rote way. There's no sense of chaos. It's like... Undertaker
here comes the security guys. They break free and they jump over the other security guys because our security guys are inept.
Yeah.
This Raw
dumb.
was just it was a bad show from beginning to end. There wasn't anything. We have 2 Bechdel characters now involved in this Nia Jax thing because we now have Angel Garza involved in it. For the love of Nia Jax. No.
And the increasing fascination of who this company chooses to write through, Nia, putting so much plot through Nia Jax. She's really their favorite, other than Charlotte. She's their favorite character to write for.
Yes. The Charlotte Sonya thing wasn't good. I didn't think.
No.
Yeah, and also just now Sonya's gonna. We're getting heel GM. Right?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Which is going to take this show which stinks, it's going to make this show that stinks worse. And
because all the heat's going to be on her for every decision made. Look how she's screwing the baby faces.
What's the problem with female heel GM?
Misogyny?
Well, okay, so you have that. That's a good point too. But
I didn't know your answer, so I took a guess.
No, I was thinking comeuppance. It's sort of the flip side of that. But how do you really actually usurp the power? I was Stone Cold Steve Austin. If that's the whole point, you do heel GM. Stone Cold is gonna come out and stun beautiful Sonya Deville. Oh yeah, that's gonna get over the baby face.
Oh, we're getting Stone Cold Mandy Rose. And Mandy Rose is gonna come down. She's gonna slip on the ramp.
Right. And that's the other thing. I don't think so, based off of Mickey James's comments this week about not doing a women's television show. And so to your point, the answer, if you were going to do heel Sonya Deville as GM, which I do think they're going to do, the way out of that would be to build up a really strong female babyface character. This is just kind of playing with it here. Bianca Belair's opportunity to really usurp, become the main babyface in the company. Just run with it, right?
Well, I thought Rhea Ripley might be a babyface, but it turns out.
Right, or Rhea Ripley would be another good one where Rhea keeps getting Sonya Deville upset and everything like that. Actually would be a fun visual juxtaposition and would make some sense. But you would have.
But she's a heel right now, which I didn't expect. Again, in this six woman tag on this Raw show.
But this company also doesn't believe that women can deliver like that. I mean, that's sort of Mickey James's point about, like, why wouldn't they give them a 1-hour show? Which is the thing I wanted, a thing at the time when you and I used to talk about. Other people did not want because they thought it would be diminishing the women, but, like, even the women wanted it. But this company does not believe in the women like that, so which is a shame.
They have
it's,
they have
it's
one story. They have one story for the women that is all women hate each other.
Yes,
and that's the story that they tell. I mean, that's the story they're telling with Charlotte and Rhea and Asuka right now. Because you can't tell who's who.
Don't even really know how to build. No, like even Bianca. Like Bianca is sort of really only exists insofar as she doesn't like other people.
She's the EST. I'm the EST.
Yeah,
I'm the EST. I'm the EST. And
all of them have bravado. Like they're strong because they have bravado or whatever, and they all don't like each other, and like that's the whole thing. No, they don't build up babyfaces like that. This company does not believe in women talent like that. So like, I think Sonya Deville as a heel GM will ultimately be a mistake because like the only way you'll ever get comeuppance on her is to have like whoever her heavies are get defeated, and that's always so unsatisfying because if like the mastermind keeps getting away, it doesn't matter how big or how menacing or how impressive the heavies were at that time. Like when the big boss gets away, like it doesn't mean anything.
Who's gonna be the talent that are her heavies? That's a good question that we haven't considered. Like who in this company has the heft to be the Harris brothers?
You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is.
Baron Corbin? No, who?
You know who it is.
Tell me.
Say the name.
I don't
say
know.
The name.
I
say
don't.
The name.
I don't know who you're thinking of. I don't know who you're thinking of.
It's Slapjack.
No. We're sending Slapjack to NXT UK to replace Joseph Connors. That's what we're doing.
No, we're not. He's gonna get a major push.
We're getting the three-way dance between Reggie,
he's gonna
Angel
be
Garza, and Slapjack.
He's gonna be like an assassin.
He's gonna be an assassin.
Yeah, like James Tux. Slapjack.
Slapjack. Yes. He needs the hockey mask and the Irish thing. Oh dear. The old Cesaro entrance that he had too. Oh dear God.
They already have the music for this. It writes itself.
Hold on. No, you can't because Slapjack's now a SmackDown guy.
It is going to be Slapjack down. Get at me, writers. I can fix this program.
I've already been in the DMs of a couple going, Chris has 3 volumes of Slapjack ideas he'd like to present to you right now.
Come to me. This guy is such a strong narrative vehicle.
The exact response was, oh dear God, no. Oh gosh. Yeah. Anything else of note on this Raw that I can't think of? Because it was just all about getting Braun in this stupid match, and it was just Braun is actually.
If you had to recap this whole show, right? Like it was Braun now in match. Nia falls. It's funny because she looks the way she does. That's the whole show.
Yeah. Braun was stupid. Which we're just already overwriting that.
The
story.
Braun and Drew dynamic is obnoxious. The listen here kid stuff sucks. What else happened? Did Mason T-Bar they did actually win by countout. Thank God. Like those
Yes.
Yeah, Ooh. Like that was at least it was better than them losing, right? And then I'm trying to see if there's
didn't Braun slam Drew and then they got the pin?
No. It was a count out thing. It was like a they lost by and then they fought each other after the match. The only positive thing on this show is RK Bro. The Randy Orton, Matt Riddle, especially if they do a more subdued stonery Matt Riddle rather than like the hyper, like the way overbearing. Like there's a little bit of a charm with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. Although honestly, I like them more, facing off with one another. So like that's I'm trying to think of anything positive to say about that show. The RK Bro is the only.
I howled at the comedic. The
Earth,
delivery
dude.
of what planet are you from? Earth. Just immediately Earth. That was good.
That was very funny.
I liked the match, but overall, the histrionics of Randy after Riddle celebrating it. So that just it was a little. All I'll tell you was okay. Was the Humberto Carrillo Sheamus interaction?
Sure,
I liked it, but I don't see it going anywhere. I think it's going to be.
They'll
now
probably have a
Humberto's
really
going
good
for the
match,
title.
Though. Yeah,
yes.
like that match at Backlash will probably over-deliver. So no, like that's a match at Backlash I'm looking forward to. And I guess whatever the RK Bro stuff is, but like
the other
dude, Braun Strowman, done with him. Drew McIntyre, his character, like they have that one note, they have that one tone that they do with Drew McIntyre. He does that one promo, and it's good the first time you hear it. And
that kind of weird, cocky.
And it's
self-deprecating.
Sort of yeah. What am I going to do now this week? I bet you're going to go this, and I know you're going to do that. And like he's sort of like too aware and too meta, and there's a lack of earnestness for McIntyre's character for him that keeps him from being a real babyface. Like the best, not to be well versed in the history here, but like when I think of like what made sort of those 80s baby faces, like what we think of as classic baby faces, like they're earnest, man. Like they're feeling it in the camera. Like they really want it.
I'm doing this for the people.
I'm doing it for the people. Like I'm doing it for my mother. I love her so much. I'm doing this for my little baby boy because I want him to be able to look at his dad and he's a champion. Like there's just like a level of like earnest, non-meta-iness, and McIntyre's character's not really earnest. And he's super, like, he's halfway to saying, oh, I know I'm in a television show this week. But, like,
and he
I'm
loves the company.
Best.
I love this company.
Yeah.
I love working for this company.
Right. Right. And it's a company, not a sport, which is a small point of distinction, but I think it matters. The company thing moves you closer to the meta commentary stuff.
You know who hates his mother is Slapjack.
That's not true. What is wrong with you?
Everything.
I'm going to host these meetings from now on so that when you do something dumb like that, I can mute you for 5 minutes.
What? Okay, that's fine. Mm-hmm. You can also produce this show and clip the audio.
I'll produce it. I'll produce you right out of it, Buster. You keep
that's
it up.
That's fine. I need the day off.
Slapjack rules.
And the other problem is if you are a WWE completist, as all podcasters are, I guess. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you got to do them all. I like to think of them as Pokemon, and if you don't catch them all, it's sort of stupid. And what's the point of living?
But Tuesday they're doing meta commentary on the Can They Coexist stories that they always run with the Drake Killian Dane thing. And now I liked the first few beats of this NXT. I liked
the Drake Killian Dane thing was like a way better version of this though than they normally do. This was actually like a different twist. I mean, they do this, to your point, they do it a lot, but like this was like totally different. And I liked it, and I liked the test of friendship thing. And the French, because they were going to lose the match, what was important here is winning for them was staying together as a team. Like the win for the team was that they stayed as a unit.
Yeah, the Alexander Wolf Imperium story, the tension there. Unless the only way it would save it for me in terms of a story choice is if Alexander Wolf said I wouldn't use the chair because it's not sacred to the mat, like keeping in the Imperium theme type of thing, as opposed to this. My thing is, I think they're just going to team those two and they're going to break Wolf off from Imperium. I do.
We're bringing back Sandy with Drake, Maverick, leading Sandy.
I love that theme. I like that. And then Nikki Cross can join too. She ain't doing nothing.
Yeah,
good Lord.
Bring it back. No, I don't hate it. Here's why. Imperium does the mat is sacred thing. They try to feign like they have honor or whatever. Here is Alexander Wolf actually having some honor and not hitting his friend in the back with a chair while he's on the ground. And he's going to get penalized for this by the heel stable, who basically views kindness as weakness. So I think it keeps the heels strong. What is disappointing, in my opinion, is that it means that they may be abandoning ship on Drake Maverick and Dane in favor of Wolf and Dane.
Yeah,
and
I think Drake Maverick's not long, or Drake Maverick joins Imperium, which I just
would also be stupid.
I don't think that, Oh, look, it's a total. The producers in the back, who are all DX guys. Oh, let's put the small guy in a sweatsuit type of thing. The visual joke kind of move. I could see that in this company. I liked Dakota Kai and Mercedes Martinez. It's just I don't understand Raquel Gonzalez right now, because she was total babyface last week, and this week total heel. And it's just okay. So is Martinez going to be babied a bit here? I didn't understand it a little bit. But I like the match.
It's also they can't really decide what they're doing with Dakota Kai. Is Dakota a face? Is she a heel? I think they're very into this Dakota turns on Raquel storyline, and it's a classic storyline. However, trying to deploy it in this current situation while you're going to still have Raquel have multiple title defenses, it seems like a real problem. I honestly, the best scenario would be, and this is not a great scenario, would be Dakota costs Raquel the title to Mercedes Martinez or something, and that is what sets off the feud. It's Raquel was this champion and she loses it very quickly because of Dakota Kai, and now that's why they're feuding.
Yeah, I liked that. I liked most of the promos. I dug the Phantasma one, Legado del Fantasma one, there are a lot of into the camera promos this week that I kind of dug.
MSK still stinks.
I don't. They're that try hard kind of fun that you don't want to see.
Just two cool dudes having a really cool time. Hey man, what's this? We have a lot of fun.
We're Ninja Turtles. Hey dude, cowabunga. Let's eat pizza and hang with Splinter.
When you're a kid, he's the adult who's come into the room and is trying to be a kid like one of you. Oh, whoa, that's totally cool. What are you guys saying? Wiggity whack? Yeah, I'm down with that. Absolutely. You see MTV last night? Cool.
Do you have the rundown of NXT in front of you?
I do. So when we're going through NXT, we began the show with Mercedes Martinez defeating Dakota Kai with Raquel Gonzalez via disqualification after the fighting with Raquel and Mercedes Martinez. And Raquel went way too far with that beatdown at the end, and it really babied Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah.
It would have been one thing if Mercedes was coming out here as a heel and beating down Dakota Kai as the little friend and making it a mission statement essentially to Raquel. What would be impactful and actually could be an inflection point for a number of things is if Mercedes lights out Dakota Kai with one big kick. Dakota runs in and gets just knocked out. And so then whenever Dakota's, barking and talking about how tough she is, we still have this one moment where she got completely clowned by Mercedes Martinez. And that's always in the back of the head, Raquel Gonzalez's thing. And we've also now built up Mercedes Martinez as a credible challenger to Raquel Gonzalez because she just lights out Dakota Kai in one big kick. Instead, you got this, and I mean, after Raquel clowns Mercedes Martinez on the outside, they were the worst part was when Mercedes just kind of flails that one arm punch into Raquel's gut before Raquel tosses her one last time against the glass like it's hockey. I thought that this stunk for Mercedes Martinez, and not a great build, and they're really lost in deciding where they're going with Raquel Gonzalez and with Dakota Kai.
I thought her promo was good though. I mean, and I'm here for the match, but yeah, this story within it was just, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think, the match will be good. The match will be good. It's just the story stinks. Cameron Grimes goes to the jewelry store. Let's just get to the punchline. Ted DiBiase shows up later on.
Perfectly fine. Perfectly
fine.
acceptable comedy for wrestling, and I thought it was kind of cool.
Frankie Monet in backstage gives Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart flowers, saying they're from Dexter Loomis as a way of getting into Indy Hartwell's head. You know, Jeff, you might not say it's a good storyline in the NXT women's division, but I'll give you this. They do more things than just women are arrogant and angry at each other. There's also whatever the hell this Frankie Monet stuff is.
Although the Frankie Monet stuff is now derivative of the who's giving so-and-so the flowers that they did with Nia. It's a kind of weird...
It's true. Yeah. No, it's dumb.
And
this Frankie Monet, it's not light my world on fire.
Yeah, arrogant, classy one. I get it, but we already have, a bougie one. So it's,
and it's like, she doesn't even really come off as like classy. It's like she comes off almost as like South Dallas hipster, like goes to brunch person. Like,
I don't have that reach of, tell me more about the South Dallas brunch crowd. Because we had Kyle O'Reilly playing the Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood brunch crowd about last week.
Cool Kyle is a radical dude. Totally tubular. He likes the Descendants this week. Great band. What a hip and interesting and gnarly fellow Cool Kyle is. What more can I really say? Next. We have Zeta Ramir defeating Toni Storm. This is so weird. This is so...
I am done with the term rookie.
Yeah.
On NXT, on any show across the brands. I liked the match. They must not see much in Toni Storm, or she's going to beat them both eventually and try and build her back, but I just look.
I don't see. I'll tell you, Zeta Ramir.
It's another story they tell where somebody who shouldn't beat somebody due to a distraction of some kind, and then neither the defeat comes off as she got screwed, but also the person who needs the shine from that also doesn't get it necessarily, because it's like, well, if
she's Leon Ruff.
Yeah,
she's Leon Ruff. She's Leon Ruff. That like you can't. Zeta Ramir is no knock on this person as a human being or whatever, but like she's not. She lacks the size. And that matters in a WWE ring, because the WWE ring's a little bit bigger than, let's like say, an NWA ring or like some other rings. Like she doesn't have the size to really fill out the ring to be anything more than a prelim women's talent, which in this company, as we were sort of discussing earlier in the show, is kind of like Nowheresville. Like it's not anything.
There's a Casey Catanzaro problem there.
Yeah. She's not going to size up. Like she is the size she is. So it was perplexing to see Toni Storm, the winner of the first women's title, or the first NXT women's title?
NXT UK women.
NXT UK women's title. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just
finalist in a Mae Young Classic.
Mae Young Classic, yeah. No, like she was like once considered to be a thing, and we're doing this with her. And then Ramirez on the outside counting the 1, 2, 3 like, oh, it was a big deal, McNeil. All right, whatever. Moving on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, did you have something else on that, or no?
Nope.
Okay. So Bronson Reed defeats Austin Theory again with Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae, and Indy Hartwell.
Good Lord. And you have to have all of them out there at once and all tell each of their individual stories at once.
Well, Candice LeRae's story is kind of like lost in the mix here. She's just like an adjunct to Indy Hartwell at this point. Like
she's Indy's mom, so to speak.
No, like this whole thing is a mess. The way has lost their way.
It's fine. Get all the titles and everything away from them.
Yeah.
And also, what is Bronson Reed doing in another match, building another match to Gargano?
I don't know. Like, I've seen this story. Like, and Austin Theory, like, repeated losses to a guy actually does sort of hurt you. It's weird. Like, you can lose multiple weeks in a row, and it doesn't hurt you. Like, you could lose 3 weeks in a row, and it wouldn't hurt you nearly as bad in professional wrestling as losing 3 weeks in a row to the same person. Like, losing 3 weeks in a row to the person is like a real character death. And, Austin Theory has now been squashed by Bronson Reed pretty definitively on a number of different occasions here.
What do you think this Diamond Mine thing is? Because I'm just gonna laugh if it's like Kona Reeves getting raped.
What was this, like a promo thing, or is this?
Yeah, it was a promo thing. I think I don't know if it was on. Was it on NXT or was it out of their social media? I can't remember, but
I don't know. I mean, we still Slapjack has not resurfaced yet. So like Slapjack coming out of the Diamond Mine, this guy, a bit of a mogul. He emerges. He's really wealthy.
All right, let's get through the rest of NXT.
Okay, so
there is the.
Yeah, next we had Imperium versus Drake Maverick and Killian Dane. We sort of already talked about this.
We talked about that, yeah.
Yeah, so we can move on. Sit down with Adam Cole. Oh, this is okay.
Arash Marquez showing up. Interesting. He late of the Los Angeles Times. Much like Adnan Virk, a little bit of baggage there. The truth is somewhere in between. Newsroom didn't like him, but he also kind of was a bit reckless, allegedly, in his journalistic practices. He'd sometimes copy one column that he did before and use it in another column. Or
a lot of columnists do that.
I'm
not saying, I actually don't think that's right, but I'm just saying, like, that is a much broader practice than I think people realize.
Look, the newsroom issue is more of a jealousy one rather than a professionalism one to me. So I don't view that as hard as I do. He kind of acted as a PR firm for athletes he got too near to, which isn't the worst thing in the world, because God knows that's a trope in journalism. I mean, it's a trope in wrestling journalism where certain writers have the people that they talk to and they let some things slide and they put some things in newsletters perhaps that help out their guy. But between the two of those, the truth is somewhere in there. But yeah, Arash Marquez now in the fold. He did the pre-show, I believe, for WrestleMania also. So see what happens. I mean, I liked the Adam Cole thing, but it's like, well, what was the point of that then? Because Kyle O'Reilly's watching it. So are we just going to rerun that thing again?
Yeah, it was weird to have O'Reilly just watch it and not have I think if you're getting Cool Kyle over, you've got to really push Cool Kyle as a character.
Stop calling him Cool Kyle.
He's Cool Kyle. They're people are calling him Cool Kyle these days.
Wait, who are these people? I want to know. I want names.
I heard the people were calling him Cool Kyle, and I want to be hip. I want to be with the times. They are changing. He's Cool Kyle now. So I call him Cool Kyle.
Hip and with the times.
With the times.
You are such an old. I'm older than you, and I think you're an old man.
I'm a bit of a trendster. I'm current. Yeah, so it's fine.
Are you really down? Do you get? Do you have drip?
Buddy, I am way down with that, bro. Word. So
it's like my favorite part of the Pat McAfee tuxedo with shorts thing at WrestleMania, where I think it was Cole got mad at him, but Vince goes, "No, I get it. I'm hip." Go ahead to your point. Sorry to interrupt.
So I think what needs to happen with Cool Kyle, especially after last week's initial kind of foray into Cool Kyle, was not very smooth. Having him defeat Cameron Grimes one, we spent more time on Cameron Grimes this week than Cool Kyle. Two, we spent not a lot of time on the big Cool Kyle win last week either during this week's show. And three, you need to build Cool Kyle up now as an actually like cool dude who does like cool things for people, and that's like why people backstage like him and respect him and wish him well. And I didn't think he was alone. He was watching this thing by himself like a loner. He might be an all right guy. We might be rooting for him in this singular quest against Adam Cole, but cool is like a vibe that you give off to others, and cool.
That was Unabomber. That was Unabomber vibe right there. Alone in a dark room watching Adam Cole.
Yeah, just watching one dude, just getting really angry about one dude, right? Yeah, if Adam Cole's a politician, you basically have domestic terror guy. Yeah,
seething in his studio apartment, writing a manifesto. That's Cool Kyle.
Yeah, no, but cool is a vibe that we get that is off of others. We see other people, like from the outside, people that we think are cool, all surrounding this one person, and we go, wow, if cool people are all surrounding this other person in the center, who is this one person in the center? Like, what is this one person in the center? They must be cool. Maybe even cooler than the other people around him. That's why they want to hang out with him. Whereas Cool Kyle right now has no friends.
Yeah.
How cool is Cool Kyle then?
Yeah, cool people have friends.
Cool people do have friends.
Last I checked, I don't have any friends, so, I'm not
cool.
Well,
here's the thing. So, you don't have any friends. Are you cool?
I don't think so. Kind of a square.
Yeah, so, I mean, like, there you go. It could be chicken and egg. It could be cause and effect. I don't know.
If I were cool, people would remember my birthday and stuff.
Okay, but, all right. Enough. You made fun of Slapjack. I didn't quit the show. It was your birthday present. Happy birthday.
It was my birthday
I
present.
Care. You're a friend. It matters. It's great. Oh, it's fine.
I got you there. Let's take a brief respite. I think that's all we have for. Is that all we have for NXT, or is there something else?
I think that.
I really liked the grizzled young veterans Tim Thatcher, Tommaso Ciampa interaction.
Yes.
Even though, I like the continuity of the chant from NXT UK. But Chris, you, me, and probably Joe Lanza are the only three people in the United States, even though I desperately beg people to watch NXT UK. We're the only three people who know that chant.
I mean, the problem with Thatcher is that he didn't even really connect it back to why people say shoes off.
Yes.
Why would Zach Gibson drive a person to such anger that they would take off their shoe, and go shoeless in a dirty arena? What is it? Why? Thatcher's remember when people did that? He's like, oh no, don't bring that up. But why did they do that? Because I have no clue why.
Yeah, add some context. Maybe play them doing the chant from NXT. I mean, it's not like you can't get the footage. You're in the same family. Kind of thing. Yeah, I think a little bit more.
Video package, if you want to get that back over, have Thatcher toss it to a video package. Have a couple of UK fans
that's what
explain why they hate Zach Gibson so much.
I mean, they overuse that trope of throwing it to the video. This is a time when they actually needed to give context to the US fans who maybe don't watch NXT UK.
Or, really any WWE fan, because WWE conditions their audience to not give a crap about anything that happened, even 3 months ago, let alone, 2.5 years or 3 years ago. They sort of actively want you to not remember the history. Don't remember what the Warrior Award was originally supposed to be about.
Is the next the 6-person match? Is that all we have left?
Yeah, next is Legado del Fantasma versus MSK and Kushida.
MS Kushida this week.
MS Kushida is what they were called this week.
Fun match, I thought. Yeah. I don't. What are we doing with Legado del Fantasma, though? That's my question.
I think we're building an interesting little mid-card angle here for the next Takeover. So I think in the middle of the show, we could have the Legado del Fantasma kind of gets it all back. Or at least that's kind of the subplot here. Will Legado del Fantasma win the tag titles and get the Cruiserweight title back during this next Takeover, and sort of solidify themselves as the mid-card stable to beat? It's kind of interesting.
I love them as an act, though. I love Raul.
I think it really works. It's come together. I think it's been good at staying away from tropes, and like Santos Escobar is just awesome. Like he's just
he just exudes stardom.
Yeah. I've seen it for like first time I saw that guy, I was like, oh man, that guy's just got he's got it. And this is like him under a mask. Sometimes you can just tell. Pentagon's got it, right? Like, some people just have it. It's an aura thing about them, the way they carry themselves. They're stars.
Talk a little bit about Pentagon in a second. Gonna give a shout out to our second sponsor this week, Manscaped. Sport Force Shake Them Ropes is brought to you by Manscaped. It's the best in men's below the waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. They obsess over their technology developments to provide you the best tools for your grooming experience. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide, and we have an exclusive offer for our listeners, 20% off plus free shipping with the code ROPES at checkout. I'm trying to grab some of the stuff here. I have these boxers, and I already have a set of these boxers that are unwrapped from before. Oh, there you go. That's he's playing guitar with the razor to
you
prove
can make all
that
sorts of cool effects, baby.
It will not nick your nuts. That's the point is of that, right? And these boxers are very, very comfortable. I really they allow the boys to breathe. Let's put it that way. How about that? Manscaped's created the best ball hair trimmer ever, the Lawnmower 3.0. Their third generation trimmer features a cutting edge ceramic blade, as Chris showed you, to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin safe technology. And we both now feel confident shaving our boys. We do not do it together, but we feel confident.
No, especially not after this whole birthday incident. Like that will never happen now.
Well, I mean, we could meet after this show and okay.
It's gonna be several years before we meet again.
Nevertheless, the Perfect Package 3.0 also includes the crop preserver. This thing's off the rails. An anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. You already put deodorant on your armpits. Why are you not putting deodorant on the smelliest part of your body, the part that makes duck butter? Yes. Your balls, Chris, your balls stink. No, and speaking of... no, because you have Manscaped.
Actually, they don't anymore because of Manscaped. That's what I'm saying.
Speaking of sweaty and stinky balls, I am thankful for their Crop Reviver. This product, along with the Crop Preserver, keeps your balls from sweaty, smelling, sticking. Other words that start with S. But anyways... get 20% off and free shipping with the code ROPES at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Hey, we're having fun with the read. And use code ROPES, ROPES. Unlock your confidence. And as always, use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. I'm waiting. I told you this last week, right before we went to air. I am waiting for the lawnmower nose hair trimmer, or not lawnmower, it's the weed whacker. That's what they call it, the weed whacker nose hair trimmer.
Like that'll
I'm very interested in that.
No, that's a product I would be appreciative of because nose hairs they stink. They're just like they're up there and then they drive me crazy.
It sucks when you're up close talking to someone and they're just staring at your nose hair and it's like, oh damn, I didn't trim those. I need to get those out. Or like your ear hair.
Catching it in the rear view mirror. So like I'm driving and like all of a sudden I see in the rearview mirror I'm starting to get a little bit of a mustache going in my nose.
Yeah. Once again, that's code ROPES, 20% off plus free shipping. We shift to Wednesday AEW. Speaking of Penta L0, this was the first 5 minutes of this match was the most WWE Penta we will ever see, I think.
I saw an account this week that took this Penta El Cerro match with Trent, and then he interspliced
Orange Cassidy, you mean?
Orange Cassidy with Penta? Yeah. And then spliced it with the match with Trent, and like it's the same match. Penta's just having the same match with the same spots over. And he's just not doing anything inspired anymore. They don't have anything interesting for him to do. He's sort of stuck in this dead end. He can't go after Kenny Omega because like Kenny Omega and the Bucks have to like have that whole top spot to themselves for the foreseeable future here. He's not in contention with Darby Allin at this point, and Allin's kind of on his own track with the TNT title. So Penta is like stuck kind of in mid-card hell in the tag division, which is now essentially absorbed back into the Kenny Omega storyline. Like, the Bucks may lose the titles at some point here, but like with the Bucks and Omega sort of being interlinked and them all having the titles and having like a big stable that has all the titles interlinked, it really leaves Penta nowhere to go. That doesn't excuse him phoning it in like all these different weeks, but like I kind of feel him. Like, this guy is potentially like a main event dude. Like, you could totally see him in a main event angle against a guy like Moxley or whatever. Like, you could see them headlining a show or pay-per-view with like Penta versus Moxley, Penta versus Omega. But they haven't had anything interesting for this dude in eons over there in AEW.
And the addition of Alex, I was done with them trying to interfere here.
My issue is how they use him. It's not Alex. I think that the character would be fine if they had better things to do with him, but they don't. And they've introduced Alex for want of more interesting things to do with this guy, because there's no title that Penta and Fenix can credibly go and challenge for right now inside this entire company. There's nothing for them to do. They're just doing stuff. So like, he's phoning it in. It stinks. I sort of don't blame him, because like they got nothing for him and nothing for him on the horizon, at least in the foreseeable future. This is not a featured act right now, stupid as that may be. And though he might frankly be a better champion than other people, they got nothing for Penta right now. And so it just stinks. These Penta matches are completely forgettable. It's funny because like his forgettable like John Cena Randy Orton by the numbers match is still better than like a John Cena Randy Orton match or whatever. Like, there's still more interesting stuff in it. But like, you start to see him do like the tope suicida. We do the finger spots. Like, you start to see him do his 5 moves of doom. And like, you're like, okay, Penta's 5 moves of doom are like way better 5 moves of doom than a lot of guys. But he's still doing a 5 moves of doom match.
Adam Page loses clean in the opener to Brian Cage. That was interesting.
I thought that like it made a ton of sense in retrospect, but like I loved that it did not feel like a foregone conclusion. And this is something that AEW does right. From time to time, and I would like to see them do more of this. And this is really what wrestling needs a little bit more of. At least once a week, you need a match where the outcome of the match is not clearly obvious. And like that, it's like at its core fundamentally just a wrestling match, which is what this was between Brian Cage and Hangman Page. And it's going to be like a lower mid-card match. Obviously, you can't do this with your big main event angles. Like, those have to still be sort of angly type things. But like, there needs to be a wrestling match every week, like a wrestling match that frames the whole show as like, this is what normal feels like. And so that when they deviate away from normal, we have normal earlier in the show to have that as context. And then you can also have this additional wrinkle of like, oh, wow, that was an unforeseen outcome. Huh. And then you can think about it and go, okay, well, they really weren't doing Hangman Page versus the Young Bucks or Hangman Page versus the Elite, right? Like, they really weren't teasing that, but they were also building them up. So, like, how's that going to play out? It makes a lot of sense in hindsight, but I loved this move. I thought this was an interesting pairing. It's an interesting match to have kick off the show. I liked this match. It was a cool match. It was maybe a little short.
It's going to be interesting. Number one, I don't know where Page is in the rankings. Was he number 1 contender?
Yeah,
if
he was. No, like
you need to make a little bit.
They needed to cool him off.
Yeah, but you also need to make a bigger deal of that. Like, the number 1 contender went down this week. That means the ratings are
I think they did.
Wide open.
That's
okay.
I think moving Cage up, yeah. And then like Starks can cost Cage or whatever in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it may also just start separation between Paige and the Dark Order, because I think they're going to fold them into this elite angle. I do. I think that's we'll see. I don't know, though.
Okay. God,
the parlay was fun. I thought the parlay
was fun.
The one guy I wanted to talk did not, but that's okay. Tully's not involved in the match, and that's cool. But there was heat in this thing, and I liked the heat of it.
Man, you want Tully Blanchard to talk? I kind of feel like Tully Blanchard sort of played out in wrestling, personally.
No slapjack, but you know.
No, he's not. Tully Blanchard is certainly no slapjack. That's a good point.
Yeah, because Tully actually has accomplished something, and slapjack.
Yeah, and he couldn't carry a company like slapjack could.
Oh. Slapjack couldn't carry a...
Yes, he could. He could carry the AEW.
If
Slapjack came to AEW right now, he'd be no lower than the third best wrestler in this company.
Oh, just trolling people now. You're turned into
everyone. Troll Lamont. I want all the world.
You've lived long enough to become Rob McCarran. Congratulations.
Yeah, baby. Slapjack subculture. Let's push it.
You gotta love some Tino Sabatelli next. Come on, man. No. But other than like everything in the undercard crew of the two was pretty good, I thought. And then we got to MJF and Jericho.
The promos were really cool.
The MJF Jericho was not as good as I wanted it to be, I think. And I think people overpraised Jericho a little bit here. Although it was intense and it was good. But it might have been just MJF's part in this wasn't as good, I don't think. I don't know. There was something. We get to the big closer, and I just went, okay, that was good, but not great. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm just misremembering it.
Like,
what did MJF...
Summer of Love, I thought was a weak...
Oh, that's the line. That's the line that was weak as hell. Weak as hell.
Yeah, it was... He was at one point for most of the promo, and he had this line, and he was just... This is one of these classic things where you come up with a line, you're married to the line stinks, but you can't get...
Pineapple. It's calling Pinnacle Pineapple, but he has it in his holster, and he's probably asked his friends, "Hey, is this funny?" And nobody's gonna tell him no.
No,
and he breaks out, and
no
I
one
just
said
went
yes, but no one said no. Yeah.
Yes, we don't want to tell Chris that this line stinks, but no, you were right. That's the part. I just went. That's a god awful line. Unless he had gone, they call this a Summer of Love. We're gonna begin the
closing line in the promo. It was a promo that was cruising along at B level, at least for me, B plus level. And then he said Summer of Love. If 1969 was the Summer of Love, 2021 is going to be the Summer of Violence. And pain and violence. I was just like, wow. So, you couldn't even encapsulate it into one word. We had to get a multi-syllabic.
We couldn't say hate. We could not say hate.
Couldn't be the summer of hate. Couldn't be the summer of hate. Summer of malice, summer of vengeance, summer of brutality, summer of carnage. Anything other than two words. We did not need a blank blank.
This is the summer of pain and violence. That makes no sense.
Violence. Jeff, with violence is pain.
Is pain.
It's always they are interlinked. They are inextricable in this sense.
You probably, unless you're getting bad heartburn or something from a burrito, you don't have pain without violence and something. Heartbreak.
If you're decapitating people in one fell swoop and they don't even feel their head leave their shoulders, there's no pain. There's violence. There's no pain. There's violence. Okay, yes, you got me there. We need to differentiate between the two. This was a very stupid go home line, and what I thought was an otherwise very good promo.
Did that work on open mic night? Did he go in with his 7 minutes and go, here's my big closer. Summer of love, summer of pain and violence.
He's doing it backstage for Hager only, and Hager's like, I love this. Hager's just drinking it up every single one.
That's a great line, boss. Go use that. And they're all laughing behind his back. I can't believe he's going to fall flat right there.
But Santana Ortiz...
No, he's trying it on Tony, because Tony won't say no to anything. And it's like, and he goes, "Hey, Tony, got a great line. Closing line for this promo is going to be 1969 was the summer of love, but 2021 is going to be the summer of pain and violence." And Tony, "Hey, no, that's good. That's good." And he goes out and goes, "God, I hope this works. God, I hope this works."
Tony Khan's just like, "I love Hendrix. That's great." Yeah. All right. So next we have this Eddie Kingston versus Michael Nakazawa stuff. Like it didn't happen because of the angle. We're gonna have a match and stuff. It's a tag match with Nakazawa and Omega versus Moxley and Kingston. Like, I mean, there's no intrigue for this match because Nakazawa's like an NPC. Like, he's not like a wrestler right now. He's like a goober. Or literally a goon. They literally call him goons. Like Cutler.
He's a hired goon. Him and Brandon Cutler, the young boy for the
Cutler
Young Bucks.
and Nakazawa have been downgraded from wrestler to goon level. So like
red shirts. They are the red shirts to get over the other guys.
Omega and a goon versus Moxley and Kingston, which means it's going to be like an angle. Like there's not going to be real wrestling next week. So
yeah, there's a difference between this and say if we want to go into an old school angle that did it well when Dusty was going after the Horseman and he took out Ole Anderson first by taking out his leg, and then Arn's next. I'm going up the pecking order here, as opposed to no one cares if Michael Nakazawa's ankle is broken. Do Gallows at least. Get him in there. You can break either of the Good Brothers' ankles, and it might mean something to Kenny. But if it's something he doesn't care about, who cares?
I mean, the whole point I think is to try to show his like callousness. Ditto with like Brandon Cutler here, but like we don't care about Nakazawa or Cutler nearly enough, even prior to the turn, to feel bad when bad things happen to them, or for us to want like the moral awakening of Brandon Cutler. Like, oh, Brandon Cutler, please get back to your dungeons and whatever's again and throwing your dice. Oh, Michael Nakazawa.
Here you are.
Please.
Shading the role-playing community. I gotcha. Go ahead.
You go back to rolling for initiative or whatever. You do what you do there, kid. And Michael Nakazawa, go back to being a Michael Nakazawa. Like, we don't have this drive in us, like, as like viewing fans. We don't care about them. So it's not tragic to see them as goons right now either. Like, their goon status is not tragic, nor do we want them to be redeemed from being a goon. So, like, you're kind of fine with Moxley and Kingston killing them, and that's not great.
Yeah, pretty much. I had no other deep thoughts about this AEW. It was a fine show.
Like, I liked the Kit Sabian beat down by Miro afterwards.
I liked the end scene where he's kind of like swaddling him and going, "It'll be okay, I forgive you," type of thing. I get the feeling we're going to have an uneasy friendship angle here, though. I get the feeling they're going to stay together.
I wanted to see Penelope's reaction to all of this. Like, the thing that was missing for me from that scene, like, was like maybe like Penelope watching in horror as Kip's getting like mangled here.
Yeah. But I did enjoy watching the beatdown itself.
Yeah, no, it was
like
good.
No words. There was no words. There was just Kip. Hey, how's it? And Miro just went into it like he'd been holding it back for 3 weeks. So I thought that was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Nightmare Family and the Nightmare Factory faced off, and then Cody Rhodes came out and attacked QT Marshall at the end.
I like Anthony Ogogo a lot. This is a fine angle, lower card, whatever.
Jon Moxley and Yuji Nagata for the IWGP US Championship here in a few weeks.
I'm excited about that. I like Yuji Nagata. I know he's lost half a step.
Huge Yuji Nagata fan back in the day when he's in the WC Dubs and all that jazz.
I am super stoked for a real War Games match. Much as NXT kind of filled the void there, give me the roof. Give me some blood. Give me guys that hate each other. I'm in. I'm in for this. And I think Pinnacle has to win, and I think Sammy has to lose it for them. Or Jericho, one of those two.
Okay, that's interesting. Like, maybe Sammy's the weak link here, and he loses it for him?
Well, remember, Sammy went out there and offered to start first and give away the advantage. So if he gets beat down over time and eventually is the one to surrender, I think that's the most interesting choice.
That would be interesting, especially if Spears could actually procure the victory. It'd be very interesting if Spears was actually like kind of the hero in this match.
Do you have the NXT UK lineup in front of you by chance?
I do, because you're going to have to take us through it.
Well, I'm going to take us through it, but there's only one real sour note on this show for me. And the rest, I'll give my thoughts on. So while you get that up,
sure.
Some pretty good vignettes. Some pretty good vignettes this week. I thought. Okay, go ahead. What's the match with Tailman? It's Tailman versus
Rohan Raja with the former Gursinder Singh.
Yes, Rohan Raja introduced. This is his debut. I'm really excited to be here. I'm here. Wait a second. Born in India, born in India, raised in England or in Australia or whatever. He introduces himself in this thing, comes out, doesn't lose, but basically Tailman rips his arm out of his socket in a crossface. So he's pretty much a loser. I hate these types of debuts. They did this with the Jamaican Kofi guy, where it's like, yeah, he idolized Kofi Kingston in Jamaica. Come out and lose. What are we doing? The debuts should matter. Debuts need to be just a squash match to introduce. I say this over and over again. Tailman, you should be debuting a guy. It doesn't matter if he gets offense in on Tailman, because you've been building up Tailman as the next heel for the last 3 weeks.
He's still not built up. Like, I'm reading the summary of this match, and like, this guy, this actually seems like an interesting match. I'm gonna need to go back and watch this later. But like, the issue is that Tailman is still not really established as a character yet, and like, you can't have an establishing match that's establishing two different people at the same time. It just generally does not work.
Pretty good vignettes this week from Sam Gradwell. We got introduced to what Subculture was. Turns out it's not Slapjack, so we're all saved from that.
Saved. Okay. Well, no, I mean, it just opens up. It opens up a minute.
They actually made a compelling A-Kid video for he's doing a rematch with Tyler Bate in 3 weeks. I thought that was very, very good. And they did a vignette before the 6-man main event between Symbiosis and Gallus to introduce who Symbiosis was. So, they're doing good character work on the show. Oh, they also had a Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah, Dave
Mastiff. And that was pretty good, too. So they really did some good work on there. There was one in-ring promo. Sid Scala had Kaylee Ray come out, and they said, we're going to have a 5-person gauntlet match to see who your next opponent is. And it's Isla Dawn, who should be nowhere near this. Ginny... read the other 3 for me, because I'm just blanking for a second. I think Luna is in there.
Yeah, Danny Luna probably.
Danny Luna, who's now part of Subculture. It's Subculture and Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Yeah. Okay. So it's Luna. It's the girl they just debuted and beat on week 2.
What's her name? And I'm not seeing a list.
I want to say Alexandria, but that's not it. But
no, it's not. It's like Mackenzie.
Yeah, I think Mackenzie's the last name. Yeah, okay. But yeah, and then I think who's the 5th one though? It wasn't. I can't recall, but I don't think it was Piper Niven. It might have been, but let me.
Yeah, it might be Piper Niven.
This is some great radio, Hawkins.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Anyways, so. Okay, here it is. NXT UK results. Kaylee Ray introduces the 5 women incoming. It'll be. It's Piper Niven. Oh no, never mind. It's not Piper Niven. No, they're just doing preamble in this clickbait thing. Those 5. Oh, Ginny, Isla Dawn, Zaya Brookside, Danny Luna, and Amelia McKenzie.
Sure.
Get Isla Dawn out of there early, and this is a pretty damn good match, I think.
I think put Isla Dawn over, and it's a pretty good match. How do you make a pretty good match better?
You put Slapjack with Isla Dawn.
Oh my God, that's a hot act.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Put him against Joseph Connor and The lovely Ginny. Yeah.
Okay, that's a takeover.
That's a takeover worthy match. No, Eva Valkyrie and Meiko Satomura was better than it had any right to be. This match was hard hitting. It was awesome. It told a good story. It was very Japanese strong style, as close as NXT UK will ever get. You know, it ends with Eva Valkyrie. She misses the leg drop off the top rope. She kind of roars in defiance as Meiko Satomura kicks her in the head, and and Meiko gets the pin, which is what should happen here. I don't think
it's a great way to rebuild Meiko. Like there's this real question of like, how do you rebuild Meiko Satomura after losing to Kaylee Ray? And having Meiko take Eva Valkyrie's win streak off of her was a good way of ending the win streak of Eva Valkyrie, like in a meaningful way, like in losing to a meaningful opponent in a way that, like, to your point, a signature match for her. So she was losing her streak, but like she got this defining moment out of it, in this defining interaction with like a legend in Meiko Satomura. And like in narrative, I think this helped re-elevate Meiko Satomura once again to clear title contender type of person.
Yeah, now you have to do some rehab on Eva Valkyrie.
Sure.
Because that's
absolutely.
also important. After you take away the streak from her, and the streak isn't going to be going for the title, now you have to go a little bit higher into the heeldom thing with her, because that's kind of how they were going with her challenging Meiko Satomura in the first place. I think you need to kind of heal her up a little bit more.
Satomura helped her. Like, if the time to do that would have been at the end of this match, right? Like,
yeah,
like
that's true.
Yeah, after losing the streak, then like Eva Valkyrie should have really lost it.
Oh yeah, there was the sign of respect afterwards.
Yeah,
wasn't
they did
there?
the whole sign of respect thing at the end of the match.
So much for that. Shaw Samuel in a squash match.
They want to send you off with the feel-good moment too often. You know, we don't all, wrestling, it's weird to say this about wrestling, but like, we don't always need the sign of respect. Sometimes the better thing to do there is the sign of disrespect.
But well worth going out of your way to watch that match. That's a lot of fun. Shaw Samuel had a squash. I'm good with this. More squashers, please.
Yeah.
And then we also had, for our main event, we had the 6-man between Symbiosis and Gallus. Primate taking the pin here. It feels like they're building up Eddie Dennis as the big bad of the crew, which is fine with me. Yeah, you have to see the Symbiosis thing. I want to know if you like it or not, because the intro is cool. They kind of described Primate as being a soldier of fortune in Africa, I believe. T-Bone being a street fighter who had lost his way, and Eddie Dennis kind of being the puppet master who's pulling all the strings here. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of the same thing that they did with the Hunt in some ways when they reintroduced them.
He's just a master manipulator of two down-their-luck guys who are like downtrodden or whatever.
Yeah. We have a Heritage Cup match in 3 weeks. Tyler Bate versus A Kid. Kind of looking forward to that. Next week, they did a vignette on this. I forgot this one. It's going to be Amir Jordan versus Kenny Williams. Loser leaves NXT UK. And I want a double count out.
No.
They did a retrospective of the 3 years that they've been, or the 3.5 years they've been in NXT UK. Yes, Chris, you're gobsmacked. Sad. You're going to lose one of them. It should be Amir Jordan.
I'm sunk. You see this? You see my posture? I'm solid.
I don't understand the bit you're about to go into, but I want to see it.
I was already in the bit. I was sad. It's not a bit. It's the true emotional state that I had.
Well,
it's okay. I want you to picture your two best friends, Jeff. Picture them. Now picture one of them's dying next week because the other one's killing the other one.
Am I in the will?
Apparently not.
No, continue.
Yeah, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel, and that's how you would feel if you were invested in this story like I was.
But we get rid of Amir Jordan, we bring over Slapjack, and he can be Kenny Williams' new friend.
He didn't need to be. Slapjack does not need to be friends.
Slapjack needs friends. He needs friends.
No, Slapjack has friends wherever he goes. He doesn't need Kenny Williams.
No, because, he never takes off the mask because he's shy. And
no, he doesn't take off the mask. He's a party dude.
Oh, really? A hockey mask makes you a party dude?
Yeah, lots
Expound
of
on that.
Yeah, you ever go to parties?
Yeah. All right, that broke me. God, will you ever go to parties? Yes, in a hockey mask with a giant knife. And I chase teenagers all the way around. That's what I did for a party,
I mean,
Chris.
okay, you watch these serial killer movies, right? Like, so often
they're just lonely children wanting to have friends. That's all Jason is.
Always seem to find where a good time is, right?
Oh,
now, granted,
yeah.
they ruin it.
They run it. You're right. No, hold on. They run into people doing drugs. They run into people having sex. They run into people drinking. They know where the party's at because that's where.
Right.
Yeah, they can find their light. Yes, they know where the closets are.
So yeah, the sororities. A lot of these guys. Yeah,
sororities.
Yeah, right.
Sleepaway camps, cruise ships for that one Friday the 13th. Outer space. They can have a party in outer space.
Don't tell me that Slapjack isn't popular.
Oh, people are so sick of this bit by now.
You want to go SmackDown?
Yeah.
Will soon be Slapjack down.
I loved this Roman Reigns Daniel Bryan match. It was it was very good for a TV match. I would not say it's pay-per-view worthy. I would not say it's one of Daniel Bryan's best. I am fascinated, though, with this Roman Reigns, kind of the same as Undertaker late career push into mixed martial arts moves to win. It's like, WWE always had a lot of scorn for MMA. We're not in the same business as them. All the other stuff. And then Shamrock came in, and all of a sudden we're adding every single MMA trope to the book. And in this one, guillotine choke with the good arm. Daniel doesn't tap, but he's gone, and then afterwards takes a concerto. So I think he's going to be off for a while, and he's going to be a surprise either on Raw, or the more interesting choice to me is NXT, but probably Raw. Your thoughts on this? And I also love the Heyman promo. The Heyman promo. Look,
the Heyman promo is great. The Heyman promo is great.
You people saying that Don Callis is the best promo in the no. The King's still here. The King is still Heyman.
Like Callis is fine, but like Heyman.
Watch Talking. Yeah, go ahead. Watch Talking
Heyman
Smack
was, like,
from last week.
Substandard material. Like he's been doing this with like this. Some of this material stinks right now, and he's still making it good.
Yeah, he just took all of Daniel Bryan's gimmicks and put it into a promo and did it. But yes, watch last week's Talking Smack. It's awesome front to end because it's like watching a masterclass in improv with Heyman. You tell me he's lost something on his fastball, and I tell you he's the most compelling managerial voice other than maybe Taz because Malcolm Bivens ain't on there. He should be.
And like, I would like to watch a show with Paul Heyman having more of a creative hand, especially at least when it comes to like writing promos and stuff. Fortunately, WWE is not really that universe right now.
Thoughts on the match?
On the match, I really well worked. I think Roman and Daniel had like a really nice match here. The powerbomb off the top ropes to go to the first commercial break looked really good. Lots of really good points in this match. I didn't like the finish. I thought that something about, you're right to cue in on this Roman Reigns mixed martial arts thing, and I don't know what it is about like Roman's iteration of this that is leaving me cold. But like, I do not care for the way the match finished out with like, he just kind of like gets out of the yes lock and just starts like hitting him in the back of the head, and then all of a sudden we're in the guillotine choke, and like that's the end. It's anticlimactic and like not buzzkilly in the way that a heel's supposed to be, just like anticlimactic. Like Daniel didn't even feel like he was close to getting out of the guillotine on the weak arm. Like Roman changed to his not good arm. And that should have been enough for Daniel Bryan to at least escape from that guillotine at least once. It should have been harder for Roman to do it with his non-dominant arm than it ultimately ended up being.
Yeah. And almost it's a weird wrinkle in the storyline of him being the baddest guy on the planet to now introduce that he's an MMA expert, which I don't think he's ever had that before. You know, it's always been Superman punch spear
Yeah.
kind of thing. I did like the post-match thing. I liked Cesaro being helpless and having to watch him get concertoed. I thought that was a cool little move. And he came out immediately. He came out immediately as Daniel Bryan was getting beaten too, which is great. Thank God for that.
It was really good. Like, I liked even, kind of setting the table with Shinsuke. Like, because, like, maybe next Cesaro watches something bad happen to Shinsuke. And so, like, all of this starts being, like, this big weight on Cesaro's shoulders that he wants to avenge all of these people. And it's, like, not even about winning the belt anymore. It's like, you beat up Daniel Bryan. Or, like, you injured my friend. And you injured Shinsuke. And, like, you're trying to take me out. Like, I think that this can be a bigger storyline, and give it the extra heft that actually, frankly, it probably needs in order to get Cesaro kind of like really on track as like the babyface champion.
I'm gonna throw some water because I think I know the booking next week. I think I know it. I haven't been told anything.
What do you think?
It's Cesaro versus Rollins, and Jey Uso super kicks them both, probably, or they just take out both at the same time because Rollins screwed Jey Uso in that tag match.
Oh yeah, and Rollins, like the tell that Rollins is not aligning with Roman Reigns was like in his prediction this week, where like Rollins was like doing some weird sort of threading of the needle of like, I'm gonna win both ways. He's great. What a talent.
On the other side of the coin, we had this intergender match. That wasn't intergender, but we get to have Bianca Belair lift up Dolph, and whip Robert Roode, which is interesting in some ways. I don't like this being so one-sided, but it happens. I just the way that this was, it was very let me holla at you player type of booking, where Bayley just comes out and laughs. And then it's smacked, and now we have a sixth person. Okay. Yeah. What else was on this SmackDown?
Next we had Natalya and Tamina defeating Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Thank God for this match because it gave me a chance to take a break. Yeah, I know.
Shayna eats another pin. Good Lord, how many pins does this woman have to take?
Remember when I said like worst booking of the year, Shayna Baszler? She continues to be this low-key.
Why is Nia the strong one in this partnership?
Okay, like this is actually a really great point, right? And it gets to a bigger problem with like the way the writers are like the writing and a specific head writer.
Not the writers, but yes, a specific head writer. Yes, we always
the specific one person who runs the company is really obsessed with this person because like what should be happening right now is that Nia Jax, who is distracted by Angel Garza and distracted by Reggie Bechtel and also distracted by gravity, all of these various weaknesses that she has been exhibiting. Shayna Baszler should be doing all of the carrying for this team right now, and instead she's not. It's still Nia's still winning.
Sorry, let me collect myself after gravity and water. Don't forget water. She's
water also running her a bit amok these days. Yeah. There's a lot of capers, a lot of hijinks going on in the Nia Jax universe. A lot of ins, a lot of outs. Gotta be privy. But I what should be happening is in these matches, Shayna should be working overtime while Nia is distracted by water, gravity, Reggie Bechtel, Angel Garza, whatever else, a random Wile E. Coyote, whatever comes her way on the outside of the ring. And
Slapjack, gotta get Slapjack involved in this thing.
The noted Lothario Slapjack comes a court.
Lothario, it's a nice word. Go over that. Yep. Okay.
Yeah. So
suave Slapjack, sending her like a hockey mask and roses,
baby. Yeah,
Slapjack.
Put him in the top. Da, 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 slap that. All right.
Next.
All right. We had Big E defeat Apollo Crews via disqualification in a matching and booking pattern that's just like moving in circles at this point.
Yes, out of everybody in this match, who got the most over, Chris?
Aziz, I guess.
Aziz, yes.
Yeah,
I guess. Big guy.
Yeah, I guess.
Good God.
Sami Zayn? I don't know. Like a lot of stuff happened.
No, we're gonna have a 4-way here, and Aziz is gonna be the guy who, or we're gonna get a ladder match between these four, and Aziz is gonna help Apollo win it.
Yeah.
And then Apollo's gonna say, "I did this by myself," and Aziz gonna give him a look and eventually a spike. Yeah. We all know what's coming in this story, but it's just, we have.
You like pop quizzes? You want a pop quiz?
Sure.
Who are the Raw Tag Team Champions right now?
That would be Omos and AJ Styles, who only appeared on the bump this week. Because
wow.
I think
see this is how you know this man's a journalist. Because like I asked Cody. Yeah, Cody couldn't get this. Yeah, you know, Cody was too busy thinking about anything else.
I believe one of them may have had the Rona. And I think that's why, and I believe it might have been the one who believes the Earth is flat.
Yeah, he's probably not a mask guy, huh? Probably not big on the masks.
I'm not gonna be a shamer for a guy getting Rona. Okay, I'm just not. It's just I think. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, well, you know, we make choices. We make choices to keep ourselves safe.
Yes,
so,
I agree.
Yeah. So next we had the main event, which was AJ Styles, or I'm sorry, not AJ Styles. Daniel Bryan versus.
That was a bit shocking.
Would have been a twist. Yeah. AJ Styles defeats many things. Daniel Bryan loses to Roman Reigns. That's the end of that.
Dude, I bet you we go all the way to Survivor Series with these stories. And I bet you we get AJ with Omos versus Aziz with Apollo in some way. And then we have the two big guys stare down because that's Vince will be drooling and unzipping and all that other stuff.
We have to be building to that moment, right? Like, and let's also keep it real. If you've got AJ and Apollo as the two workers on either side of that match, and you build to like Omos and Aziz is like the twin, you know, like kind of the what will happen when this happens, like that actually could potentially be a pretty interesting match. AJ, I think AJ and Apollo could actually carry that to a pretty good match.
Okay, and then that's Big E with a shout out to Shock G. I was very happy about that. But yeah, Big E is the least interesting guy in this 5-way if you count Aziz. I mean, that's what shocks me about this. They have done so little to rehab that character.
This push was supposed to help Big E.
It's supposed to push him to the main event is what it was supposed to do.
And like now he's stuck in mid-card hell fighting with Apollo Crews, who is a placeholder champion. And when I say placeholder champion, I mean like now that you've got this General Aziz character attached to Apollo Crews, we are not building Apollo Crews anymore. We're building General Aziz. It stopped.
And we're gonna use all these other guys to do it, and that's gonna be.
And it stopped being about Apollo Crews the second it started being about Aziz, which is like, in a way, really predictable when he went with the Nigerian angle, and like you and I knew that this was like. We had our own reservations about it for different things, but like one thing I think we were pretty confident on that at the time that has been borne out is that this was going to be a narrative dead end for Apollo Crews. Because like once he goes like, let's just say hard Nigerian, where does the story go from there? Like there's no pivot point, like there's no hero's journey from that like as your starting point. Like there's nothing. So it makes sense that what it ultimately ends up being is a foil for this giant guy that we want to introduce a la Omos, only on SmackDown.
Yeah, here's the thing, is that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are bulletproof. They will come out, they will be compelling in whatever they do, they will get over in whatever they do, and they will be pushed to a certain point. Apollo needs this story to be interesting, and this is the end of his story, pretty much, as he's now Nigerian. That's it. That's the story. He's now Nigerian. And Big E is the big loser in this. and Big E can't. It's going to be hard to rebuild him. I can see that they're going to do like a story with Corbin or something to try and do it, but nobody's interested in him beating Corbin.
Nothing gets you ready for the main event more than a run with Baron Corbin. Lights the world on fire.
My prediction is by next draft. Let's say next draft this happens. I think Big E is back with the New Day, and they just go on their merry way being this act that's kind of middling. They do a few jokes. They're a little smart alecky. They sell merch like a mother.
And they had their fun push 4 or 5 years ago, and there was the Kofi thing the one time, and wasn't that neat? No, I mean, I think maybe best case scenario is Big E gets put into a main event picture against Roman at some point here, and probably doesn't win the title.
Well, that was the goal, I thought. That was the goal of this entire thing.
And actually, to that point, it looks like Cesaro is probably taking that slot. It looks like that slot, that track that probably should have been Big E's, has been handed to Cesaro. And
I mean, the best thing you could do for Big E probably is put him with Seth Rollins and give him a win against Seth.
Yeah, because that's going to lead to at least a good match. Yeah, that's a good match. It's a good solid heel win. Yeah,
and then no, that's a babyface win.
Well, no, it's a win against the heel is what I'm saying. Yeah, Seth Rollins is a big, solid, established heel. Yeah. And
then if people take to that, because beating Seth Rollins doesn't have the oomph it used to, but it's still he's the number 2 heel on the show, I think. Then you see if the people take to Big E, and then you can put him in a match with Roman, and then hopefully build that. But they had been building that Roman Big E thing since they brought Big E over, and then it just, typical 3-week Vince getting tired of his toys type of thing. Make me laugh, Big E type of thing goes on.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I got nothing.
Okay, cool. We'll end it there then. You can follow me at CrapGame13. You can follow Chris at DWATG. You can just follow the show at Shake Them Ropes. Just going to try and get the audio correct this week. We'd once again like to thank our sponsors, Manscaped. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code ROPES, ROPES. And also MyBookie.ag. Get up to $1,000 deposit bonus by using that same word, ROPES, ROPES. We are part of the Voices of Wrestling Network on YouTube at Voices of Wrestling, so you can see our pretty faces and see how we troll each other and the looks we give there. Chris also does other podcasts. He will tell you about them now.
Yeah, Don't Worry About the Government can be found over at don'tworry.tv, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Spotify. We've got an AV Club episode coming up here in a few weeks on unidentified flying objects, which I'm really excited about. Hawkins is rolling his eyes. We're talking about aliens, baby, friggin' aliens in a couple of weeks. I'm stoked. It's like episode
good luck on those calls, Chris. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, it's gonna be a fun one. I can't wait. The FBI is gonna come and get me. The government's gonna take me away. We're gonna get into the real truths, people, finally, after all of these years. But we'll also be talking about standard news and politics along the way here. You can find all of that over at don'tworry.tv.
And no, I'm not really mad at Chris about the birthday thing. Jeez.
Slapjack rules.